Long ago, before there was ever a Walmart, people had to come up with other ways of making their own clothing. Hi, my name is Rochelle Stickle, and today I will be demonstrating another way of making clothes. Long ago, a more popular way of making clothes was to spin yarn from sheep's wool and knit it. An example of some roving that can be used to be spun into yarn is here. This is fine fin fiber and comes from the wool of sheep. It has been dyed into this particular color and has been carded using a machine comb and to organize the fibers into a way that they can be spun. This is an example of an early 16th century spinning wheel. As you can see, it has the more traditional shape of a spinning wheel, and one can also see that it resembles the same spinning wheel that Sleeping Beauty is said to have pricked her finger upon. When spinning fiber like this, the first step is to spread out the fibers evenly so that they can be spun without knots in the fiber. I'm spreading the fibers out here, not pulling them apart, but just spreading them evenly. Second step is to start the fiber spinning in the wheel. Often you will have a lead fiber, as you see here, that you can attach other fiber onto to start the yarn. Once the fiber has been begun to spin, the wheel itself pulls it in, spinning it and pulling it onto the spool. The spinning process is a tedious one because in order to have perfectly even yarn, you must maintain the same balance as you're pulling on the yarn as you are letting it go into the wheel. Sometimes this takes several weeks to get the hang of, but once you do, it's often a process such that you wake up one morning and you're just spinning. It's also like when you begin to ride a bike, where once you start to do it right, you never forget how. The spinning process is often referred to as a relaxing thing, and it's something that many people enjoy doing. While a lot of people think that this is something that only older women do, this is an art that has become popular among younger adults in today's society. While it is not really a more cost-efficient way of making clothes, it is definitely a creative art form and one that people find very enjoyable. I've often enjoyed spinning and entering things in the state fair in North Carolina. A couple examples of knitting and spinning that I have to show is this sweater that I knitted for my dad. As you can see, it is an example of a cabled sweater. This took approximately 4 or 5 months to complete because after the spinning process is over, you have to dry the yarn, stretch it, and then knit it into separate panels before you sew the whole sweater together. While it takes a long time, it is definitely a work of art and an expression of love. Makes my dad perfect. Another example of knitting and spinning is a shawl that I completed for my mom. This is a silk shawl, and this is using single-ply yarn. For a single-ply object, you would use yarn such as I have spun here, and you would not ply it together with another strand of yarn. This creates single ply, which is thinner, and so the end result will be thinner. As you can see, this shawl is very thin and lightweight. This is 100% silk. Now, if you're planning on making something heavier and warmer, such as a sweater, you would want to use something called double ply yarn, which involves spinning 2 spools, this is a spool, of yarn, and then spinning them back together. To do this, you spin them back the opposite way which they were originally spun so that the twist untwists against itself and makes the yarn stronger. Like I said, this will create a heavier yarn and is often used for a sweater, but it would not be used for a shawl. Another shawl that I've made is this single ply shawl. This is an example of a blended fiber. It is partly silk, but it is mostly merino fiber, which comes from the wool of a sheep. To be this fine, the wool is carded several times through big combs, and then it is organized so that the fibers are straight. And then once you have folded it, and just an example, once you have folded it, then it is in line so that you can spin it and there won't be any clumps in the yarn. So this is an example of the spinning process, and one that I've enjoyed learning much about. Thank you.